Many of us have asked the question, what is the meaning of life? Although the answer may be subjective, there is one thing I can say for sure. The way we live is just as important as what we actually do. That is to say, how we live our lives is a fundamental component of what we make out of it and how much we get to enjoy it. To me, the destination is just as important as the journey. Neither is superior to the other. Which means the way we live our lives is just as important as the meaning behind it, whether we find it or create it. And with this, we get half of the equation solved. Sometimes life gets so intense that it feels like the world is spinning around us until we remember that it is not. Do we experience movement or do we create it ourselves? One way or another, reality can only be as still or harmonious as we are. It seems that all turbulences we experience are but an echo of past turbulences within our own heart. So, while it would be terrifying to consider ourselves to be in a plane that could crash, it actually becomes quite amusing and amazing if we see it instead as a roller coaster. Letting go of all attachment and simply throwing our hands up in the air might as well be the best way to go about it. Falling 8 times, but getting up 9. Keeping a sense of humor and not taking things too seriously, nor without being immature. This means a sort of serious playfulness. We would benefit greatly from learning how to enjoy the challenges we face, because in a way, the challenges are no different from us. The way we respond to them is the key. They are but opportunities to grow, and not something negative or bad. In a sense, our adversaries are our greatest supporters because they propel us to look within, to change ourselves, to become stronger, and to move forward. If we stop to think about it, we never really meet difficulties that are stronger than we are. Life is always fair, and we simply have to stop underestimating ourselves. Our attitude is everything. Instead of allowing what happens to overwhelm us, we can instead be inspired to exert our own resourcefulness, industriousness, and creativity. Every moment is a chance to find and draw forward greater power from within, to change the perspective of how we are interacting with the world, to refine our own perception, and to constantly increase and expand our awareness, to see the events of our own lives with new eyes, instead of the physical ones, to exercise our inner vision instead. Life happens for us and not to us. It is a gift and not a problem. We find power in taking responsibility for everything that happens to us instead of blaming it on others. It may seem daunting at first, but it is actually the most freeing experience. Because if there is no one to blame, this means we already have everything we need. Everything is dependent on us. With great responsibility also comes great power. infinite power. Nothing is an accident. Nothing is completely outside of our control. To see ourselves as the cause and the effect of everything that happens to us is the most empowering experience. Complaining is simply admitting defeat. It is shrinking down and avoiding reality instead of stepping up to meet the challenge. We can either grow and evolve or shrink and devolve. One is the path to life, and the other is the path towards death. We do not have to enjoy everything that happens to us, we simply have to accept it. Although, in a way, we can actually learn how to enjoy not enjoying it, or finding comfort in discomfort. Our mind creates most of our problems, which means it can also create all of the solutions to them. Stop resisting. Find a natural, spontaneous balance between using effort and allowing things to unfold, between work and rest. Everything is cyclical, and trouble usually arises from things being out of balance. Using effort when it is time to rest, and yielding when it is time to push forward. The key is getting the timing right. We do that by listening to our intuition and being more sensitive to the subtle flows of energy around us, becoming one with nature, including our own. Everything is an opportunity to grow and evolve, to learn or remember more aspects of the truth, or to create it ourselves. What matters is the way we live, the way we act, the way we breathe, moment to moment. Our attitude determines whether we enjoy life or struggle against it. How we feel about the events and circumstances of our life is entirely dependent on us. Yes, we get to choose. Always remember that. Whether we are willing or not determines how much effort is required, how hard something can be. Because if we are willing, then even if something is challenging, it becomes a playful challenge instead. If we detach ourselves from our own emotions, we are able to fully experience them without becoming overwhelmed or drowning in their energy. Instead, they flow through us like a river. Emotion is energy in motion. They are meant to be experienced, not identified with. So consider not saying that I am this or that feeling. Say instead that you are experiencing it. The feeling is flowing through you. The feeling is not you. We are merely the observer or the player. We are flowing through life, and life is flowing through us. The less attachments we have, the better we feel. The better we feel, the easier it gets. This is effortless living. Because we do not identify with the effort as being effort. We instead treat it as play. We remove the obstructions and friction and strive to attain and experience perfect flow. This is the secret of boundless energy, efficient circulation. The more impersonal we get, the more intense we can actually experience life. We are not the names, the roles, and the labels that most associate themselves with. Those are merely masks, parts, a temporary take on this theater of existence. We are the actor playing different roles. Most do so unconsciously and get lost in the play. But always remember that you can write your own script. Effortless living is experiencing life without being overwhelmed or suffocated by it, which is, again, all about our attitude and the quality of our awareness and perception. It is about our identity or lack thereof. There is nothing worth identifying ourselves with besides pure awareness. Everything else is a temporary experience, however beautiful or ugly it may seem. Clinging to things creates friction and effort. We can have, but never possess. The beauty is precisely in the impermanence of things, because every moment is unique in its own way. The more we cling to the past, the more we condition our own future, and the less we get to be present, to actually enjoy the present, which is the present. We are merely passing by, so instead of finding things to criticize or complain about, it is most helpful to find ways of experiencing gratitude for having all of these experiences. Remember that the things we dislike or happen to trigger us are merely revealing the dark or otherwise suppressed, hidden aspects and flaws within ourselves. We cannot escape from them, but we can choose what we associate ourselves with and which energies we cultivate in our own personal experience. We must treat our mind like a garden and acknowledge that every thought is a seed. We must get rid of the weeds and be deliberate about what we are planting, because those will eventually take form and materialize in our immediate reality. Every seed we plant bears fruit in some way or another. The more present we become and the more we master ourselves, the easier we begin to shift through different states of being at will. Then we understand that the world mirrors ourselves, and the shadows we see are always cast by a light, which is often our own, if not to say a reflection of a shadow that already exists within us. Ultimately, awakening every aspect of our own being is what will awaken the world. To shine the light of our awareness within and illuminate any and all aspects of ourselves, to purify all of the distortions and to restore the integrity of our own being. Everything we dislike in the world is in fact a part of ourselves. The same goes for what we like. So it is all about alignment. What we align ourselves with, we get to experience. Everything is always available, and we simply get to choose. The key is understanding this can happen both consciously and unconsciously, which is the difference between a master and a slave. Inner transformation is outer transformation. Time is merely a delay in density, but the real change happens instantaneously in a realm above time, the moment we shift our attitude and perception of the world. It is all about how we choose to play this game. Life on Earth is not a prison, but a sort of spiritual escape room. There is no soul trap, there is no hell, there is no war between light and darkness. Everything is part of the play. Everything is a reflection of our own inner world. We have to remember that we're a player, an actor, and not a prisoner. Whether the world is rigged in our own favor or against us depends on our attitude and beliefs. We can be the hero or the victim. But remember that even when the world seems to be against us, it is actually helping us grow, which means we simply get to determine whether we wish to evolve in a joyful way or a stressful one, by deciding whether we embrace challenges in a playful way or if we resist them instead. By realizing true transformation and alchemy happens within and not without, the proper order of cause and effect. Everything that happens to us is exactly what needs to happen to us. The past could not have been any other way. The more we dwell on it, the more we deny who we truly are. The more responsible we become, the more we can see the connection of cause and effect between our inner happenings and turmoils and the world of outside events. The more we master ourselves, the more enjoyable life becomes. We are the ones who create either our own misery or our own bliss. Everything else is just a proxy or an excuse. But the real catalyst is always within. Separation is the greatest illusion there is. And the truth is paradoxical. And that is how we know that it is the truth. It is not meant to be understood, analyzed, but felt, experienced, embodied, and enacted. We cannot know it, but we can be it. We can live by it and live as it. Mastery is no longer wavering, no longer doubting ourselves, no longer fearing, no longer sabotaging ourselves, and no longer entertaining that which is not pure, harmonious, and true, and doing so at all times. This is true health and integrity, as well as complete freedom and organic bliss. This is the result of knowing thyself and stepping into your true power fully. Thanks for listening, and have a great day.